Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.
Live from the Schaefer Center, it's the battle for Fort Wayne here in the NAIA as the St. Francis Cougars at 3-0 on the young season take on the Indiana Tech Warriors, who come in at 1-1 on the 2023-24 women's basketball season. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Schaefer Center here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, on the campus of Indiana Tech. I'm Jaron Matheny, glad that you are with us for today. 3 home games for Indiana Tech today, one starting at 3 o'clock, one starting at 5, and then one starting at 7. Postseason play at both 5 and 7 o'clock. But here it's a women's basketball tilt between the St. Francis Cougars and the Indiana Tech Warriors. St. Francis off to a 3-0 start on the year with wins over Cornerstone, Concordia of Michigan, and Ann Arbor, part of the conference for Indiana Tech in the WHAC, and then also a 75-59 win at Midway the last time out for the Cougars, who had 45 points off the bench and held Midway to 30% shooting from the field. Both teams struggled to shoot the long ball at Midway the last time out for St. Francis. Well, the Cougars able to get the victory, and again, those 45 bench points key in that victory. Allie Madden with 23 points on 10 of 11 shooting from the field, and Taylor Fordyce 18 points and 9 rebounds in that victory for St. Francis over Midway the last time out, helping the Cougars to improve to 3-0 on the season After last year, they ended the year at 15-15 in the first season under head coach Jeremy Henney, who spent 7 years as an assistant for the USF men's basketball program and a former associate head coach at Huntington University back in the 2012-13 season. Dave Posey joins him on the bench for the second year in a row in his 12 years of prior experience, including at Lakewood Park High School. Ashley Brommer and Austin Leisure also on the bench again for St. Francis this season. On the other side, head coach Jessie Biggs for the Indiana Tech Warriors. Coach Biggs in her 12th season overall. She's the athletic director here at Indiana Tech as well. Coach Biggs' squads have been really good since the 2015-16 season. They've got 20 wins in every year since the start of 2015 and 30 wins over the course of the last 6 seasons 4 different times. This is a very, very impressive Indiana Tech women's basketball program, going 27-6 a year ago with a couple of long win streaks in there, including a longest winning streak of 8 consecutive games for the Warriors, who were 16-4 on their home court a season ago. Kylene Biggs joins head coach Jessie Biggs on the bench, the former head coach at Lawrence Tech. Ed Dupre, also an assistant. He spent some time at Bishop Dwenger, and then Deanne Huber, Kyra Whitaker, also assistants on the bench, and Sam Steinmeier is the graduate assistant for Indiana Tech. And this Warriors program off to a 1-1 start this season, currently receiving votes in poll number 1 of the NAI women's basketball coaches. In the preseason poll, Tech came in at number 20, but that lost to Georgetown 74-49 the last time out at Georgetown. Takes Tech from outside the top 15 to outside the top 25, and they're second in the group receiving votes right now in coaches poll number 1 for the 23-24 season. Indiana Tech losing at Georgetown 74-49 after beating Huntington in overtime 80-74 to open the season. Tech shot just 30% from the floor and 18% from three-point range in the last game at Georgetown, and the Tigers were able to shoot 51% from the floor and were plus 24 points in the paint. 4 of 22 in the long-range department for Indiana Tech, as Erica Foy was the only one to hit double figures. She had a pretty big night, 22 points and 5 rebounds for the grad assistant out of Gas City and the Mississinewa High School graduate. Other than Foy, Taylor Covington had 7 points and 6 assists. Corinne Smith had 3 points, 4 assists, just not enough scoring for Indiana Tech the last time out, trying to replace Kyra Whitaker, the leading scorer from a season ago, and one of the main focuses of the offense. And talking with Coach Biggs about 40 minutes ago, we talked about Kyra a little bit and what they're missing, and Coach Biggs said it's not necessarily in the leadership department. Kyra was a leader, no doubt about that, but not necessarily vocal leader, but you knew what you were getting with her every time she stepped on the floor, is what Coach Biggs said, and you knew she's going to give you consistently. She averaged 16.3 points per game last year. She's going to shoot well at the free throw line. You knew what you were getting with Whitaker on the floor every single time, and Indiana Tech, as they come onto the floor, is looking for a little bit more consistency in that department, and that falls on some of the upperclassmen, certainly for this Warriors side. Juliana Burris in her senior year, Erica Foy, the graduate student, Elena Rongos, a graduate student, and redshirt senior Bethany Worm. Once she returns, it'll fall on some of those players' shoulders to really make sure they've got everything going in the direction they want to, in the direction that Tech women's basketball fans have become accustomed to seeing from this squad over the course of the last 6 seasons. That's lots of winning and finding different ways to win. Now, these are two schools who shot the lights out from long range a season ago. For Indiana Tech, they came in at number 8 nationally in the NAI in three-point field goal percentage a year ago, just under 36%. They were 4th in the nation in terms of field goal percentage at 48.1% from the floor last year. St. Francis was the best three-point shooting team in the NAIA a season ago, 39.7% from long range. They were also 45% from the field last season. So two teams that can really light up the scoreboard if you can get them going. The problem so far has been getting the offense moving for Indiana Tech and a little bit for St. Francis as well, although 75 points at Midway is nothing to scoff at. The Cougars would certainly like to play in that 75 point per game range this season after averaging 67.5 points per game a season ago and allowing 65 per contest. Indiana Tech just under 75 points per game last season and 57.5 points allowed. That was 21st in the NAIA last season in terms of points allowed per game. We talked about the 3 games on the schedule here for Indiana Tech today. 2 from the Schaefer Center. We'll have women's basketball here coming up at the top of the hour. And then at 7 p.m. tonight, the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference postseason volleyball tournament kicks off with quarterfinal action for Tech. They take on Concordia out of Ann Arbor, a team they saw just a week ago on Wednesday of last week in a straight set victory over Concordia for Tech volleyball, although the Warriors are coming in following a loss to Siena Heights. Men's soccer is hosting Madonna at 5 p.m. We'll have it here on our Indiana Tech Athletics YouTube page and SummitCitySports.com. Carson Watkins will bring you the call of Tech men's soccer, and then I'll be back here in the Schaefer Center tonight at 7 p.m. for Tech women's volleyball as they try to win the WHAC regular and postseason crown. Winning the regular season or postseason title here in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference has been something that Indiana Tech has done routinely over the course of the past 6 seasons. But against St. Francis in this matchup dating back to 2005, Tech is 7-10 against the Cougars, 5-4 on the road, 2-6 here at home. So the road team has actually been better in this series over the course of the past 18 years or so. 7-10 though for Tech against St. Francis since 2005, including a win last year at St. Francis, 71-69, the final score last December. That marked the 3rd consecutive victory for Indiana Tech over St. Francis. 5 players were in double figures last year for the Warriors, including Kyra Whitaker, who played 40 minutes, scored 18 points, and had 3 assists. For St. Francis, 3-0 on the year. They'll head to Joliet this weekend. They'll play St. Francis of Illinois on Friday and then St. Xavier on Saturday before returning to more of a normal schedule at IU East on November 15th. And then they'll start conference play the game after that. For Indiana Tech, conference play starts on Saturday at 5 p.m. at Siena Heights. They'll be back home on Saturday, November 18th for a doubleheader, first one of the season against Madonna for both the men's and women's Tech basketball teams. So we're getting set for the national anthem here inside the Schaefer Center. Both teams hitting the floor, and as you'll see on our score bug here, we are a minute away from starting lineups being introduced here today. First home game of the year for Indiana Tech women's basketball, and they get the home floor for the first time against their bitter rival in St. Francis in this battle of Fort Wayne, the Crossroads League against the WHAC, and 2 teams with some pretty high expectations coming into this year. We'll also get to see the star freshman Isabella Gizzi out of New Palestine in the starting lineup for St. Francis here today. So St. Francis and Indiana Tech lining up, getting ready for the national anthem for the first time at the Schaefer Center here this year. Again, I'm Jaron Matheny. Glad you're with us. SummitCitySports.com. You can find us on Indiana Tech Athletics YouTube. Search for us on Facebook, Summit City Sports. We're all over the place. You can find us pretty much everywhere. And again, don't forget we got men's soccer as well as women's volleyball coming your way today here at Indiana Tech as the fall sports season starts to wind towards a close, and the winter sports season is fully upon us. Let's turn it over to our public address announcer as we get set for the national anthem and tip-off between St. Francis and Indiana Tech.
Indiana Tech, the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference, and the NAIA are committed to maintaining the true spirit of competition through the 5 core values of the NAIA: respect, responsibility, integrity, sportsmanship, and servant leadership. Please do your part by showing respect to every spectator, student athlete, coach, and official in today's contest. Thank you. At this time, we ask that you please rise and gentlemen, remove your caps for the playing of the national anthem.
Well, there's your starting lineups. We'll run through it one more time for St. Francis. Parrott, Gizzy, McKnight, Mantila, and Pate. On the other side for Indiana Tech, Burris gets the start alongside Decker, Covington, Foy, and Smith. And we welcome you to the Schaefer Center, SummitCitySports.com. Again, Jaron Matheny, glad you are with us. First home game of the season for Indiana Tech, and they get St. Francis here in this Battle of Fort Wayne. Decker at center court with Mantila. It's Tech who wins the opening tilt, and quickly up the floor come the Warriors as Burris lays it in for the first 2 points at home this season. It's a full court pressure for Tech as Parrott dribbles across the timeline. Cougars wearing black and blue today, gray and black and orange for Indiana Tech. There's the three from Gizzy. Another foot on the line. It'll go down for 2 points, but on the board here in the first 30 seconds are both sides. We're off to a 2-2 start here at the Schaefer Center this afternoon. This game was originally slated at 11 a.m., moved back to 3 p.m., probably helped most of the people in athletics by doing that to keep them back in schedule, with men's soccer at 5 and then volleyball at 7. On the drive, Smith on the runner. She's fouled. And with 3 on the shot clock, Corinne Smith hits the free throw line for the first time for Indiana Tech in this 2-2 ball game. Smith coming off 3 points, 4 assists the last time out against Georgetown. 63% free throw shooter a year ago, knocks in the first. Foul was charged to Reagan Pate, her first. Smith played all 33 games last year, but did not make a start. She's in the starting lineup and knocks in both free throws. And Tyla dribbles into the lane, trying to scoop it around, kissed the glass perfectly and down for 2. St. Francis and Indiana Tech tied up at 4 here in the opening stages of the first quarter. There's another foul on the drive on the inside for Tech, and that sends Taylor Covington to the free throw line. And it is free throws coming for Covington. 68% at the line a season ago. Started 21 games. Too strong on that first attempt. Tech as a team last year, 68% from the charity stripe. Covington goes 1 for 2. Warriors have the lead once again in what appears to be a high-scoring affair, at least early on. Parrott across the half-court line, dribbling on the inside, blocked by Decker. Burris pushing in transit, loose ball, and a whistle. A foul against Indiana Tech going after that loose ball. It's Covington, her first. And Burris tasked with trying to slow down Parrott and this St. Francis offense coming up the floor for head coach Biggs. You see walking along the bottom of your screen. Gizzy gives up for Mantelai. Drive in, and a left-handed finish is good for 2. Mantila lays it in. St. Francis has their first lead. Covington gives up top, catch and shoot tray. Just off the iron on that attempt from Smith. Parrott looking to hustle up the floor. She swipes through, foul, plus the bucket. And Emily Parrott heads to the free throw line. Burris on the personal foul. And an and 1 free throw coming for Parrott. It's good. St. Francis leading by 4 after the 3-point possession the old-fashioned way that time around. Covington gives up. Smith to the top of the key. Burris right wing. Decker will shoot from long range and cashes it home. Genevieve Decker from downtown. 9-8 ball game. A lot of offense here early. And Tyla, head fake, hand up defensively, something Coach Biggs talked about with me pregame. That's off the mark. Offensive rebound. Mantila missed the putback. Got another offensive rebound as Covington rips at it, forces a jump ball. Substitution coming in for Indiana Tech as Elena Rongos is on the floor for the first time. Foy takes a seat on the bench. Worked into the short corner pretty frequently here for St. Francis on offense the first few possessions. Gizzy off the screen from Parrott. Shot clock to 3. It'll stay with St. Francis, but just 3 to work. McKnight on the inbound, deflected out of bounds. Nice work from Amaris Lowry, who's in for the first time as well. Inbound, Parrott in the lane, could not get it off. And a travel was called first anyway. Would have been a shot clock violation. Good stop by the Tech defense that time. After a couple of extra opportunities on offense, Cougars can't capitalize. Kick out, corner tray, rims off. First attempt from Lowry today. Like I said, two teams that, if they're playing their right game, they're shooting it well from long range. Gizzy, bounce pass for Parrott. Dribbles against Covington, and a foul again as Covington swipes down and just picked up her second personal, team foul number 3 on the Warriors. Oh, a big foul there as Burris is going to have to come in for Covington. Allie Madden hits the floor for the first time for St. Francis. Madden coming off a 10 for 11 shooting performance from the floor. She's at 90% from the field this season as Parrott's first free throw is off. Parrott 0 for 2 on this trip. Decker rips down the board. Burris back in for Covington. Smith, Decker, Burris right wing gets the screen. On the baseline, tried to wrap a pass around. Gizzy taps it out of bounds. Fordyce is on for St. Francis. And Jules Kutrara, the redshirt sophomore, is in for the first time in 2 years. Kutrara takes the floor. Still got that big brace on her left leg. A little head fake here, Kutrara. We'll see sometime today. Coach Biggs said it's going to be a little bit limited with her coming back from injury. Good find from Burris, and the lay-in goes off the left hand of Decker. Tech regains the lead 4 minutes into the first quarter. Fordyce, the Carroll grad, shuffles it to McKnight. Bounce pass for Madden on the inside. Hands in there for Tech defensively. And a jump ball cause. Good work by the Tech women's basketball team on the defensive side. Madden, we talked about, she's been so good this year. Part of that, her ability to play in the paint, inside 7 or 8 feet, and dominate there. Help defensively from Tech. Causes a turnover. Kutrara for Burris. Now top of the key. They'll work it back to Kutrara. Good ball movement from Tech. Dump down on the inside. Decker. And whistle for a travel. Get a media timeout coming here after we get under the 5-minute mark in this opening quarter. Jump shot for Fordyce, banked in. Still counts the same. And St. Francis leading by 1 midway through the opening quarter. Long range look is cashed again from Indiana Tech. Rongos connects on the tray. 2-point lead for the Warriors. Again, next whistle will send us into a media timeout. Gizzy, long range, short. Burris looks to push. Deep look, Kutrara doesn't go. Fordyce around the screen from Madden. Gizzy dumps in. Madden, lots of help defensively. And Fordyce traveled. And that should send us to our first media break. Long range look from the outside for Indiana Tech in the early going. This is Decker knocking in the three. Tech leading at the media timeout, 13-11. Warriors in front. We're back in 1 minute to the Schaefer Center.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Genevieve Decker leads all scores with 5 points in the early going. Indiana Tech receiving votes in the first NAIA Women's Coaches Poll of the year, leading 13-11 on St. Francis. SummitCitySports.com. Jaron Matheny, glad to be with you. Burris Foy come out of the huddle with Decker, as well as Lowry. And Smith also returning to action for Indiana Tech. Decker skip pass towards the top. Lowry dribbles in. Burris travels out in full force early on both sides. Something the officials are looking for in the early portion of the season. 3.5 minutes first quarter. McKnight collecting on the far side, drives against Smith. On the baseline, and Smith commits the personal foul as Decker came down to help. It's already the fourth foul on Indiana Tech in this first quarter. Pair of free throws for McKnight, who knocks in the first. Chloe McKnight, 70% at the line. She's averaging 13.7 points per game early this season. We're tied up at 13 after 2 made free throws. Foy out to Lowry, worked around for Burris. They'll dump back down inside. It's Decker. Good kick out. Smith for 3, rattles in. And at the 3-minute mark in this opening quarter, Tech back up by 3. The moving screen. And Tyla picks up the personal foul, her first. Third against St. Francis. See if Tech can open up the lead a little bit here on this possession. Smith, another long range look. Too strong this time. Fordyce collecting on the glass. Fordyce scored more than 1,100 points at Carroll. Highly sought after from NAIA schools in this region. So was Gizzy. Gives up to McKnight. She driving in on Burris. Got around the corner and lays it in for 2. Nice drive from McKnight. St. Francis back down by 1. Out up top. Lowry, the 3 is good. Long range working out here for Indiana Tech. 19 points in this first quarter. Fordyce gives up. Gizzy responds. 3s on both sides. St. Francis knocks it through. Smith just around the toilet bowl and out. Good look, though, on the inside for number 31, junior out of Waterford, Michigan. Fordyce jump shot gives St. Francis the lead back. When you miss on one side of the floor, you got to get back quickly because both offensives are humming here in the early going. Lowry, front iron and out. Final 60 seconds of the first quarter. McKnight can't get around Smith, still gives up for a Gizzy three. It's off the mark. Foy rebound, potential 2 for 1 for Indiana Tech. Inside, Foy, double team help came, pass for Deckers, thrown out of bounds. Couple of substitutions. Carly Culberson's in for the first time for St. Francis. Parrott returns to the lineup as well. Four and a half seconds separating game and shot clock. Coach Henney calling out the play. Fordyce drives straight to the cup and in for 2. Shot clock turned off. Kutrara backs it out. Kutrara into the corner. Lowry goes to the rim. Runner rolls off. And at the end of the first quarter of play, it's St. Francis on top of Indiana Tech, 22-19 in this high-scoring affair from the Schaefer Center.
Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, Warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
End of the first quarter, St. Francis on top of Indiana Tech. Both teams shooting the ball well from the floor in that first quarter. 9 of 14 from the floor for St. Francis, 64%. 46% on the other side for Indiana Tech, but they were 4 of 9 from long range. Decker and Smith both with 5 points. On the other side, Fordyce has 6 points on 3 of 3 shooting for St. Francis. And it's Tech basketball to begin the second quarter. No, rather St. Francis basketball to start the second quarter. Fordyce and Parrott try to get this offense moving in quarter 2. Or keep the offense moving, I should say. Culberson against Foy on a good drive, lays it home. Pass out collected by Smith. Trower to the inside. Short on the shot from Rongos. Fordyce into the corner. 3 balls cashed by Reagan Pate. Largest lead of the game on either side. 8 points now for St. Francis in front. Rongos back for Foy. Right wing Trey. Can't get the response. Fordyce is there for the easy board. Right wing. 3 caromed off the iron. Offensive rebound. Mantila back up and good. Tech has won 3 in a row in this series against St. Francis. Cougars probably been preached that over the past couple of days. Leading by 10. Kutrara on the up fake. Rongos, top of the key, Decker, and now right wing. Smith gives back to Kutrara. 9 to work. Decker quickly out. Smith, high arcing 3, splashes in. And they'll take a timeout here. 29-22 with 8:15 to play in the second quarter. St. Francis out in front of Indiana Tech. Second quarter of action from the Schaefer Center. St. Francis was up by 10 points. A 3 splashed home brings it back to a 7-point game for Indiana Tech on the other side. But a good start to this second quarter. A 14-3 run for St. Francis over the last 350, dating back to the end of the first quarter of play. But Corinne Smith knocking down an outside shot led to a timeout here, and that will be our media timeout for the period. So 29-22 and 8:15 on the clock here in the second quarter. Burris bringing some full court pressure. And Covington's out with 2 personal fouls she picked up in the first 4 minutes or so of that opening quarter. Pate giving up the ball. Parrott midway through the shot clock, and she pushed off. Parrott whistled on the extension of the arm. Tech basketball trailing by 7. St. Francis fans don't seem to agree with the whistle. Ball worked around the arc. Kutrara and a head fake. Back for Smith. Now top of the key, Burris. 7 to go. Burris driving against Mantila. She's blocked. Loose ball picked up. Culberson pushing. Straight to the rim. Good challenge defensively, but Culberson finishes. Cougars back up by 9. Tech just 3 points in this second quarter so far. Bounce pass on the inside. Smith, double team help came. It's Culberson. Had her hand straight up, but the body was pushed in there. And that picks up the personal foul and sends Smith back to the free throw line. So a pair of free throws coming for Corinne Smith. First is off the mark after she hit her first 2 free throws. Sitting at 8 points right now in 11 minutes played. And 1 for 2 on that trip. Gizzy and Madden back in for St. Francis. Fordyce, Gizzy, Madden, Parrott, and then McKnight make up the 5 for St. Francis. Madden backing down against Foy. Shot was partially blocked there. As Tech tries to bring it back to 5 or 6. Smith from deep. Short. And the air ball results in a turnover. Cougars with a basketball. And we've seen some intermittent pressure on the ball handler coming up the floor from Indiana Tech today. Nothing truly in terms of a full court trap as Fordyce turns the edge, missed the lay-in, but got her own rebound. Reset of the shot clock, to 20, now down to 10. Parrott. Kicks out, McKnight sliding into the lane, pulled up just short, missed the runner. Burris, see if Tech again has an answer offensively, and foul on the inside. Madden picks up the personal, her first. Tyler returning as Madden's personal foul brings her out of the game. 5:52 remaining in the first half. Burris pass. Decker able to corral it. Burris, long range look. The Cougars leading by 8 with the ball. It's Fordyce. Out. Gizzy 3, and an 11-point lead for St. Francis. This is the largest lead of the first half for the Cougars. Foy on the right wing, top of the key. Burris deep look again, missed it. Covington to the scores table even with those 2 personal fouls. Coach Biggs knowing she needs some offense right now. Gizzy traveled as Covington comes in for Smith. Couple of subs for St. Francis. Pate returns to the floor. Inside lay-in goes for 2. And just what you're looking for there if you're Indiana Tech. Decker on the lay-in off the assist from Covington. High-low inside, Gizzy can't quite take it away. Now a foul comes before the Parrott 3. It's the first on Indiana Tech here in the second quarter. Nine points the advantage for St. Francis. Knocked out of bounds, and it is Tech basketball. Fatima Valiente is in for the first time. Valiente dons the number 13 for St. Francis. Covington giving up. Burris drives against 2 defenders, bumped in to Pate and gets the personal. 3 subs coming back on for St. Francis. Fordyce, Culberson return. Valiente to the bench alongside Parrott and Pate. McKnight also back in. Covington inbounding underneath the bucket. Decker hands to Burris. Sling to the inside. Foy Fades away. Can't get the soft roll. Burris, offensive rebound, and another foul against St. Francis. It's team foul number 5, which sends Burris to the line for 2. There's a positive here if you're Indiana Tech. Just under 4 minutes until the break, and you're shooting free throws from every foul here on out. Burris 66% at the line last season. Knocks in the first. 4 points the last time out after starting the year with 21 against Huntington. 2 for 2 on the trip for Burris at the charity stripe. Cougars with a single-digit lead. Got the switch, but can't get it into Mantyla. Into the corner, Gizzy, baseline drive. Decker fouls her, and she commits, hits the lay-in plus the foul. And St. Francis back up by 9. Gizzy to shoot the free throw as Smith comes back on the floor, and there's the baseline drive plus the foul against Decker. Gizzy hits the free throw. 10-point lead for St. Francis. Foy off to the right wing. They work it around the arc. Burris dribbles against Fordyce, goes underneath. Reverse lay-in, not true. But another foul. Fordyce, her second personal. And there's something for St. Francis you got to keep an eye on all of a sudden now are the foul problems. Second on Fordyce. Everybody else except for Valiente has at least 1 foul. Fordyce has 2 as Burris hits another free throw. She's 3 for 3 so far. And right on cue, rimmed out on that one. I'll take the blame. 37-28, St. Francis. Pass deflected, Gizzy gets it back. Midway through the shot clock. Culberson slings it down. Parrott fouled. Almost a block shot underneath for Tech. Instead, a whistle and 2 free throws. Parrott shooting 2 for St. Francis. 3 points, 3 rebounds, and an assist so far. 14 minutes played for Emily Parrott. Knocks in the first free throw. Also a Carroll grad alongside Fordyce, although 2 years separating the two. Second team All Crossroads League last season for Parrott. Goes 1 for 2 at the line, and a jump ball forced by McKnight. Tech still gets the basketball, but it'll flip the arrow. Nice play that will show up in the stat sheet as a jump, but nothing more than that. But it does flip that arrow in favor of St. Francis the rest of the way in this first half. Lowry back in. Has it near the top of the key. Gives up to Covington. Now Foy. Utrara in on the action. Good ball movement again for Indiana Tech. Covington gets in the lane. They'll give it up to the corner for Smith. Shot clock to 7. Foy. Help defensively from the Cougars. Gizzy rips at it and takes it away. 3 from McKnight. She's fouled. And 3 free throws for St. Francis. McKnight shooting 3. Lowry, her second personal foul. And McKnight hits the first. 3 of 3 at the line. 5 points in total. A rebound and assist. That one clinks off the front. And McKnight goes 2 for 3. Very crucial final 2:13 of this first half for Indiana Tech. Bring this game back to single digits, and somewhere between 5 and 7 points you can feel okay with the way this first half has gone and how well St. Francis has shot the ball. Covington, 8 to work. Pulls up from deep and missed it. Cougar defense has been really good. Burris coming in for Covington. Probably a good time for her to take a seat on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Foy checks out and Rongos is on. Trying to mix and match here for Coach Biggs. Final 100+ seconds of the first half. And Tyla looking Parrott back door, now dumping in. And Parrott gets the whistle. Scrutrera was in there defensively. Cutrara, her first personal. Parrott misses the first. One for 2 trip for Parrott. Minute 32 first half. 13 points, largest lead here for St. Francis. 3 ball, splash. Cutrara from long range. Just good to see her back out on the floor for Indiana Tech. They're overcoming some knee injuries the last 2 years. Parrott backed her way down inside, lays it home. Kick out, Cutrera again. This rimmed off, loose ball. Lowry nearly had an offensive rebound. Culberson pushing. Straight inside, Burris swiped it. Kick out, Parrott holds. Had a chance to go 2 for 1 there, and now St. Francis will look for one final good shot. Culberson out for McKnight, shot clock to 6. Gizzy, 3 to go. Got to get it up at the horn and got it to drop through. Shot clock turned off. Burris back, Rongos at the horn and off the iron and out. And that ends the first half of play. Halftime here at the Schaefer Center. St. Francis on top of Indiana Tech. 45-31 as the Cougars shoot 65% from the floor in the first half. 43% from long range, just 5 turnovers on both sides. 23% shooting for Indiana Tech in that second quarter, 35% from the floor in the game. And no shooting numbers out of this world for St. Francis in the first half. 65%. Gizzy leads all scorers with 13 points as it's St. Francis up by 14 at the break. Here on SummitCitySports.com, we'll come back with your first half stats after this.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior. goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
You're busy. You expect to say no sometimes. But what you didn't expect was a chance to say yes to a college degree while keeping your life. Indiana Tech is now offering Chicago area students undergraduate and graduate degree opportunities taught online by experienced faculty who care. Learn more at one of the new Indiana Tech enrollment centers in Naperville or Wilmette.
I can turn this in early? Sure, whenever you're ready.
Embrace the unexpected at Indiana Tech.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that there aren't very many energy programs out there. When I researched all of the various programs recently, there are really only 2 or 3 accredited engineering programs.
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada originally. I came out here to Indiana Tech to actually go for the energy engineering program because of its uniqueness and its ability to get hands-on with the materials I'm going to be using in the future.
Well, a few of the things I think that sets Indiana Tech apart is, number one, you have very small classes. You have very close relationships with your professors. When you have a class of 10 people, it's much easier to get to know the professor and get in contact with him than if you have a class of 30, 40, or 50. You're going to have the same professors for the majority of your classes. You're going to have the same classmates for the majority of your classes.
The more practical applications come in all the subsequent energy engineering classes. He transfers in a class that right after they're leaving the classroom, and the board is filled with calculus. So in order to understand a lot of these topics, they're going to need to understand the calculus there. Calculus is the study of the rate of change, how fast things change. And depending upon whether it's energy engineering, industrial engineering, or whatever, they're going to need to use that and apply that.
Professor Romary, he stands out to me the most right now because when I first got here, I had to take calculus, Calc 1, Calc 2, and he's one of the professors that teaches it, and he was a very kind and helpful guy, and he did whatever he could to help us out. He was very funny, always had a way of creatively teaching calculus to us that not a whole lot of people can do. And I think that and how he did it is going to be something that's going to stick for me for a very long time.
The field work that Indiana Tech can provide here is, for example, we have a 10 kilowatt windmill that the students can work with. We have a geothermal system for a couple of the buildings for Utang-Sioux and for Zollner that uses geothermal principles to heat and cool the buildings in the summer and the winter.
The PV array system, training system that we have down here in the basement allows us to wire up the panels we have down in the basement to set it up as a off-the-grid system or a battery bank system, which helps us because we can see every component of the system actually intertwining and how they work together, which is something that may not be easily visible when you're on the job site in a career. So definitely my internship at Super Value Incorporated was a very, very beneficial program for me to be in. It was more based on the process and logistical side of engineering of my degree, not necessarily the design aspect. It helped me really learn how the most efficient way to do a task and some of the boundaries that come with trying to make things more efficient.
One of the things that we've been very fortunate here at Indiana Tech is that we've had a grant through AEP to help subsidize our students in taking some of the various trips in spring break. Over the last 4 years, I have taken, along with a couple of other chaperones, I've taken almost a couple of dozen students to a trip to Germany and Switzerland that focused on renewable energy. We've gone to Iceland last year, focusing on geothermal energy, and we just recently returned from a trip to Costa Rica.
Just last year, I went to Iceland with a couple of our peers, not even just energy engineers, but a couple of other engineering majors went along with us. And for me, that was the highlight of my college time. I mean, we learned a lot about like geothermal systems and how they converted to a country of basically like ran just by geothermal. But it wasn't just learning about that, it was also learning about their culture as well, you know, and the past and the history and where they plan to go in their future. And all those things combined, I think really kind of defines my experience here in Indiana Tech.
You can be the smartest engineer in the world, but if you cannot talk to or work with other engineers and non-engineers, it's very hard to get anything done. I try to teach my students that while you may not like writing, it's going to be a part of the job. You have to communicate. If you're doing experiments or testing hardware in the lab, you need to write it up so that other people know what you did, and the customer may want to know what are the results of that test.
Something I would remember most about the faculty would be just the one-on-one aspect of it and how open they are to hearing your problems and concerns and willing to assist you. Indiana Tech, with the class sizes being so small, you really get that one-on-one talking, everyday type relationship with your advisors and your professors. And having that is key to success, I feel, because being able to communicate with them and actually get your problems and questions across is going to help clarify things for you while you're in classes in school, which is going to set you up for success.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes. You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Yeah, pretty much everything. Between dreaming and doing,
St. Francis leading Indiana Tech 45-31 at the end of the first half of play. Live from the Schaefer Center here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, on the campus of Indiana Tech. I'm Jared Matheny. Glad you are with us for SummitCitySports.com as we get you caught up on the first half of stats here in this one. Starting with Indiana Tech, Corinne Smith, 9 points, leading the way in scoring. 2 of 6 from the floor, 2 of 5 from long range, and 3 of 4 at the free throw line for both Smith and Juliana Burris in the first half. 7 points for Genevieve Decker, 5 for Burris, and then 3 for Lowry, Rongos, and Kutrara. 1 point for Covington in that first half of play as Tech went 7 of 10 from the free throw line, 6 of 18 from three-point range for 33%, 9 of 26 from the floor. That's just under 35% shooting from the floor in the first half. On the other side, it was lights out from the field, 65% shooting from the field, 43% from long range, and 8 of 13 at the free throw line for St. Francis. Gizzy leads all scorers with 13 points on 5 of 8 shooting. She also has a steal in this first half of play. 7 points for Parrott on 3 of 7 at the free throw line. 3 rebounds for her. 6 points for Mantila. She had 5 rebounds. Fordyce with 6 points and 5 boards and 2 assists. And then McKnight also with 6 points in the first half of play for St. Francis as the Cougars are on top of Indiana Tech. 45-31 at the break. St. Francis 4 of 5 shooting in their final 5 field goal attempts in the first half of play, and Indiana Tech 1 of 5 shooting on their last 5 field goal attempts in the first half, and 1 of 7 from long range in their last 7 attempts. We'll see if they can get things cooking from long range in the second half. That's the thing for both these teams is, you know, St. Francis shot so well from the floor, 65%. You're not going to be able to keep up with that as a team on the other side of the floor unless you get some drop-off in the second half, certainly. And some more turnovers created would be big for Indiana Tech in the second half. Both teams with 5 turnovers in that first half of play. 2 fouls on Fordyce and a little bit of foul trouble there. And for Indiana Tech, 4 players with 2 personal fouls. Lowry, Covington, Decker, and Burris all had 2 fouls in that first half of play. And Covington picked up her 2 relatively quickly. We saw her play in the middle to later stages of that second quarter for Indiana Tech. But still, Warriors looking for some answers really on both sides of the ball after the first 20 minutes of action have come and gone here at the Schaefer Center in Fort Wayne, Indiana. St. Francis with the possession arrow and the basketball when we come back with second half action here from Indiana Tech. At the break, Warriors receiving votes in the latest edition of the coaches poll from the NAIA, trailing St. Francis, who's trying to stay unbeaten on the young season. Cougars looking to move to 4-0 as Indiana Tech tries to keep their winning streak against St. Francis intact, trying to push it to 4. They'll need a second half comeback. When we return to the Schaefer Center right after this 1-minute pause, second half action just around the corner here on SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
You have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
Ready for the third quarter of action. St. Francis leading Indiana Tech 45-31. It is St. Francis basketball to begin the second half of play. That was at least according to the possession arrow up top. And yes, indeed, it is Cougars basketball. Starting fives are on the floor. For both teams. Just wanted to make sure Pate was out there before I said that officially. The second half begins. Cougars with the basketball, shooting over 60% in the first half, and they pick up right where they left off. McKnight on the 3, and it's St. Francis's largest lead of the ball game. Sure, the conversation was quite different in each locker room after that first half. For Tech, talking about getting back in this game. It's going to take more than one shot. And for St. Francis, trying to step on the throat here in this third quarter. That jumper's missed from Covington. Long range look for Mantila. It's off. Nearly an offensive rebound for Parrott. Went off her hands last and out of bounds. That's another area in the first half for St. Francis. Just felt like they were always on the glass, and on the offensive glass at that. Four offensive rebounds for St. Francis compared to just one for Indiana Tech. Left wing, Foy gives to the top for Burris. Foy did not score in the first half of play for Indiana Tech. It's Decker out. Foy on the drive. Whistle. And a reach in on Mantila, her second personal. Shot clock resets to 20. Inbound for Decker at the right elbow. Look in, Foy trying to create some space. Can't get it to her this time. Smith now dumps in. Foy with help coming from Gizzy turns in. And Mantila fouls her on the jump shot, although she didn't agree. 2 free throws coming for Foy as Coach Henny shouting out next play. Nothing you can really do if you're Mantila in that situation on the turnaround from Foy. Erica Foy, the free throw line, and still searching for her first point. Free throw 2 drops in for Foy. A 16-point ball game and a minute and a half off the clock here in the second half. Mantila has to hit the bench for St. Francis. Allie Madden is on the floor, so obviously not really the end of the world for the Cougars. And now a moving screen against the Cougars. Madden second, that's the third team foul already. Chance for free throws again to be part of this game for Indiana Tech. Round the arc to the left wing. Foy dumping inside for Decker. She dumps off to Burris. Good look at the rim, and the lay-in goes for 2. Ball movement for Tech. It's been really good, I've felt like, all game today. They just haven't hit the shots at the same clip that St. Francis has. McKnight trying to get around Covington. Gizzy with 5 to work. They go down to Madden. Can't step through against Foy. Good defense and a stop here for the Warriors. Try to bring it back to 12 or 11. Foy straight to the inside. Hand on her back. What's the foul? Erica Foy, first bucket comes 7:25 in the second half. And here's another look before the and one. Hand on the back, finishes through the contact. Some pressure in the full court. Trying to slow down this Cougars offense any chance you get. Response, and the 3-ball good for St. Francis. A 14-point lead for the Cougars. And another foul coming against St. Francis, this time in the lane. A couple of good offensive possessions for St. Francis back-to-back. Fifth team foul against St. Francis already in this third quarter. It's double bonus time for Tech. Lowry, 2 free throws. Short on the first. Let's go back earlier. And this good dump down from Decker to find Burris. The lay-in goes. 1 for 2 at the line. 13-point game and a little bit more pressure on the ball handlers for St. Francis. Fordyce ran into Lowry there. McKnight used it as a screen, but missed the 3. Ball poked around, and Lowry has it. No numbers here for Tech. They do push up the floor, and Covington tripped. 2 free throws for Taylor Covington, and St. Francis fans are not happy. Largest lead for Tech, 4 points. That came 2 minutes to go in the first as Covington hits her first free throw. It's been as many as 17 for St. Francis. Covington makes it 11. And again, in the bonus, which is really the double bonus here in the women's game, 2 free throws every time. There's a foul. That's not a player control foul from here on out. Fordyce, and there's a whistle against Covington, her 3rd. Covington, first team all Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference last year. She was the newcomer of the year. And a moving screen on the inbound against Gizzy. Too many mistakes by St. Francis in the early stages of this third quarter. Kutrara back in as Covington runs off the floor. It's Kutrara starting with the basketball in her hands. Decker gets it quickly. Now Foy and Burris around the arc. Everybody touches the basketball for Indiana Tech. Decker. Now Burris, top of the key for Foy. 3 ball is good for Foy. And it's back to single digits for Indiana Tech. Fordyce calling for a screen, gets it from Madden. Free throw line jumper short. Tapped around and ripped away by Lowry. Up ahead, drive for Decker, banked in for 2. 6-point ball game. .12-point swing over the last 3+ minutes of action. Madden ripped away by Burris, and then a foul. And Tech is headed to the free throw line with some momentum. Back to the last possession down the floor for Indiana Tech. And to the bucket, lay-in good. Free throws for Genevieve Decker. Started in half the games last year. Played in all 33. Too strong on that first free throw. Earned her second team recognition from the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Decker 1 for 2 at the line as Tech now 13 of 19 shooting free throws. Intensity just kicked up here in the Schaefer Center. Gizzy driving, kicks out. Mantila's back in the game. And got shoved there by Foy. Now it brings us to a media timeout as things are getting chippy all of a sudden inside the Schaefer Center. St. Francis leading, but that lead quickly diminishing. 5-point ball game. We're back right after this. SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
You have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
A 9-0 run for Indiana Tech over the last 2:17, a 15-3 run over the last 5 minutes of action, and it's St. Francis leading Indiana Tech by 5 points. Just hit the under 5 timeout here in the third quarter. Cougars basketball with 20 to work offensively. So St. Francis only 3 points scored in the last 5 minutes after going up by 17. And now a foul against Indiana Tech. And the officials are starting to hear it from both sides. It's the third team foul against Indiana Tech. Parrott inbounds right in front of her. Ball nearly ripped free, and McKnight muscles it up for 2. Strength there from number 11 to put that ball in the hoop. Foy double teamed out for Burris. Kutrara to the inside, kissed the glass, good for 2. 5-point game. McKnight deep ball. Been so good, but that one's off. Tech could bring it back to a single possession right here. Work it around. Here's a handoff. Burris. Now Lowry on the right wing. Back for Burris. Kutrara. And now Foy dumps down inside. Decker spins, kicks off. Burris then blocked. 5 to work. Foy from deep. Front iron and out to Fordyce. And Fordyce to the free throw line as she draws contact with Kutrera. Covington back into the game. Burris hits the bench. Kutrara's second personal foul. Rongos also returns. Kutrara is a redshirt sophomore out of Tinley Park, Illinois. In the last 2 years have been hindered by injuries. It's good to see her back out there as Fordyce's first free throw kicks off. Carol Grad hits the second. 6-point game. And Covington whistled for the travel. Certainly feels like one step has been a travel as opposed to 2 here today. Culberson is back in now for St. Francis. Top of your screen in the left corner. Moving up from the screen. Fordyce going one-on-one and missed the lay-in. Decker rebound. Estrara up the floor. Covington off, fake the three from Lowry. Nearly stripped free on the help defensively by Culberson, and a timeout taken by Indiana Tech. Lowry was in a bit of trouble. It's a 30-second timeout for Indiana Tech, so we'll keep it right here. Everybody's got to stay up off the bench, and we'll actually take a media timeout here. We've already taken one in this third quarter. Allie Madden 4 personal fouls right now. 3 for Mantila, 3 for Covington. That's the foul trouble, as well as Lowry with 3. Tech shooting 62% from the field in this third quarter. 6 of 9 at the free throw line. 33% on the other side for St. Francis. Both teams have gone cold over the course of the last 2 minutes. 6-point ball game. The 1-1 Warriors and the 3-0 Cougars. St. Francis trying to stay unbeaten. 15 on the shot clock for this possession by Indiana Tech. Covington gets the handoff. Looking for Decker underneath. Ball jarred free, and Gizzy was in there. Culberson on the drive against Lowry. Left-handed, too strong. Burris, amongst some taller bodies, gets the ball. Got a trailer. Burris takes it all the way to the hole. Good for 2. Four-point lead for St. Francis. Tech has won 3 straight in this series, but just 2-6 at home since 05 in this matchup. Parrott, too strong. Burris kicks ahead. Covington bumped into, and free throws coming, which could make this a one-possession game. Like Lowry got hit up high and may have a bloody nose here. So Smith's gonna come in for Lowry. Valiente returns for St. Francis. Covington, 2 free throws. Part of that Dublin, Ohio connection for Indiana Tech. 3 players from Dublin, Ohio seeing lots of minutes. A couple of Dublin Kaufman grads, including Covington. She missed the second free throw, and then Dublin Jerome High School for Rongos. Back to a one-possession game here for Indiana Tech as Covington goes 1 for 2 at the line. Late help, foul underneath. Culberson missed the lay-in, but will shoot 2 for the Yorktown native. Culberson to shoot 2. Foy returns. Mantila in for Fordyce. Culberson averaged just a point per game last year. She's got 3.3 this season. That's her first missed free throw of the year. 4 points and 2 steals the last time out against Midway. And an 0 for 2 trip at the line this time. Tech could tie it with a 3 on this possession after trailing by as many as 17 here in the third quarter. Burris on the baseline. Turns around, pulls up from 10. Can't get the soft bounce. Gizzy drives in, shot blocked and taken away by Smith. Again, a chance to tie here on an offensive foul. Called on Foy. St. Francis wants to take a timeout, and we'll take the break with them. It is a full timeout. 54-51, Cougars out in front, but again, Indiana Tech threatening in the final minute of the third quarter. .54-51, St. Francis leads Indiana Tech here in women's basketball from the Schaefer Center. 3 timeouts remaining for the Cougars, 2 for Tech in the final minute of this third quarter. Indiana Tech making their run currently, and St. Francis looking for an answer here in this final minute to try and get the lead back to 6 or 7. Cougars haven't scored in the last 2:25. It's a 14-3 run for Tech over the last 6 minutes of action. Some full court pressure from the Warriors, at least it looked like for a second. Now they'll drop back. Final minute of the third quarter. Parrott setting up the offense. Jumpers off, but it went off of Foy last and sticks with St. Francis. Still a chance for a 2-for-1 here, although slim. Mantila off the inbound, right into Parrott. Help comes, back out, Mantila 3, high arcing long, offensive rebound. Valiente was in there. 7 seconds, 8 seconds separating shot and game clock. Parrott handing off for Gizzy, ball on the floor again. Foy comes up with it. 7 seconds, Tech can tie with a 3. Down low, Decker lays it in. And that's how the third quarter comes to a close. Indiana Tech shortens the gap by a wide margin. It's just a 1-point ball game as we head to the fourth quarter. St. Francis leading Tech by 1 here at the Schaefer Center.
To the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes.
54-53 as we head to the fourth quarter of action here at the Schaefer Center, Fort Wayne, Indiana, on the campus of Indiana Tech. A great game brewing here between St. Francis and the Warriors. Decker on the lay-in caps off a 64% shooting third quarter for Indiana Tech. 21% on the other side for St. Francis. And now the Warriors, who trailed by as many as 17, can regain the lead to start the fourth. Jaron Matheny here for SummitCitySports.com. Glad you're with us. It's Foy with a touch and a turnaround jumper, which gives Tech the lead. Defense has picked up the intensity for the Warriors as well. Parrott blocked by Burris. Loose ball, Decker picks it out. Covington back from Decker. Drives with a handoff to Foy, and a whistle comes before. Another whistle. It has started as Foy hands off for Burris. Little contact, Burris, floater's good. 3-point lead for Indiana Tech. And the first 4 points of the fourth quarter belong to the Warriors. Fordyce on the drive, good response. No wasting time for Tech. Jump shot, rattles in, there's Erica Foy. Scoreless in the first half was Foy. She's up to 11. Gizzy. Inside, lefty lay-in, too strong from Parrott. Foy, head fake, dribbles in. Missed that lay-in, loose ball. It belongs to Tech. Warriors have responded out of the locker room in a big way. Burris and one. And before Burris can take the free throw, a timeout taken by St. Francis. Warriors grabbing all the momentum in this one. We'll come back to the Schaefer Center right after this. SummitCitySports.com.
Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, Warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
It's a 24-5 run over the last 9 minutes and 5 seconds of action here at the Schaefer Center. SummitCitySports.com. It's Indiana Tech women's basketball leading St. Francis by 5 points. Burris with a bucket plus the foul. Covington, her 4th assist of the day, helps Burris jump up to 13 points. It'll stay at 13 off the missed free throw. Final 8 minutes should be a doozy. It's a 2-point win for Tech last year at St. Francis. McKnight into the lane, kicks off left for Fordyce. Inside 10 to work. Fordyce drives to the cup, lays it off for 2. Single possession ball game. Work it around the arc to the far side. Foy in for Decker. Parrott on her back. One-on-one. Decker draws the foul. Genevieve Decker shooting 2. That was the 3rd on Parrott. 14 of 22, 14 of 23 now at the free throw line for Tech. 9 of 17 on the other side. St. Francis was shooting in the 60s, 64% at half from the field. It's down to 50% now. Four-point Tech lead. Dribble inside, Parrott missed it. McKnight threw it back up. Her second putback goes. McKnight up to 13 points. (13 to work). Burris, top of the key. Foy dribbling on Mantila, left-handed, rimmed off. Rebound for the Cougars, who trail by 2. Coming up on 6 minutes to play. Mantila fouled by Foy. It's the 3rd on Foy. Lowry in for Smith. Mantila hits the first. Second free throw to make it a tie ball game. And we are tied. Last 4 points for St. Francis. 62 all in the final 6 minutes. Foy turns, jumper, foul. It's the 4th tagged to Mantila. Foy shooting 2, and she will come out here if she makes the second one. Drains the first, gives Tech the lead back. Foy hits the pair. Rongos in for Foy, and a quick breather, I'd assume, for number 11. Probably get her back on the floor somewhere near the under 4 mark. Force Fordyce to control the basketball. Swing pass to the inside. McKnight turns, shuffled it up, and good again. McKnight now with 15. Tied up at 64. Decker looked at Rongos. Give for Covington. Deep three. And we got a whistle and a foul. Depend on what was called first. Covington three. Does it go? And the officials are going to discuss. No shot. Foul is underneath. Called against number 20, and that, believe, would be Indiana Tech. Yeah, it's an offensive foul against the Warriors. And Coach Biggs might blow a gasket here, especially when you wipe off the three in addition to what'll go down as a turnover. Rongos has to come out. Well, did not have to, but does come out after that foul. So tie game coming up on the midway point of the fourth quarter. Help comes defensively, and a foul in the lane. And down to her backside is Kutrara. And the foul underneath Kutrara. Right now, it's the knee that's not in the brace that she just grabbed. She's helped back to her feet here. And Kutrara going to be helped off the floor with a slight gimp here. And you can see the emotions on her face. Just been such a difficult road to get back to this point for her. I really hope she's okay. They've used her minutes, been valuable today, and she'll head straight to the Tech locker room. 5:09 fourth quarter, tied up at 64. Handoff. Fordyce gets the touch against Covington. Back out. Culberson, jab step, takes the three and hits. Cougars have scored the last 7. Now lead by 3. Lowry pass. Decker able to get there. Covington, the response. Kicks off. Four and a half to go. Culberson gives up McKnight, rather Gizzy. For Fordyce, couple of freshmen playing on the floor in some big moments here for the Cougars. Parrott from deep. Missed it, Decker able to grab the board. Still just a one possession game. Good pick and roll, Decker to the rack. One-point ball game, under 4 to play. And St. Francis wants to talk things over. Final 3:50 of the fourth quarter comes your way right after this. Final 3:50 of the fourth quarter. 1-point Cougar lead over Indiana Tech. Here from the Schaefer Center on SummitCitySports.com. Jared Matheny, glad you are with us. Well, St. Francis is led by 17 points in this game, and that was at 1 point here in the second half. Huge third quarter for the Warriors, who are trying to complete the comeback. Switch defensively. Burris tried to poke it free. McKnight launches short, and it's Tech basketball after a great defensive stop by the Warriors. Credit to Burris, keeping that aggressiveness on the defensive side. Gizzy coming back on the floor. Culberson checks off. Foy is out there, as well as Smith, Covington, Burris, and Decker. It's the starting five for Indiana Tech. This final 3.5 run. Covington off the left wing. Top of the key, 10 to work. Foy, double team help came. They come across on the pass. Burris to the bucket, gets the foul. And a pair of free throws for Juliana Burris. We're tied up at 67. Tech missing Bethany Worm, of course. Cougars dealing with some injuries on their own front. A couple of big pieces out of this game, but both sides pretty evenly matched despite it. Burris hit the pair. Gizzy comes off. Offense for defense subs here as Culberson returns. Culberson on the left wing against Decker. Off for McKnight. Drives inside, blocked by Decker. 12 to shoot. 1 point Tech lead. Parrott got to get it somewhere. It's McKnight. Now Parrott, shot clock to 7. Deep three, Mantila! From 25 or further. 2-point Cougar advantage, under 2.5 to go. Covington behind the back. Smith for Burris, open look, cash it! Juliana Burris for 3. Tech regains the lead. Mantila, head fake. We're gonna go inside 2 minutes. Fordyce and a foul out in front of the play. 4th foul on Tech. Covington's 4th. Well, Gizzy came to check in and now will stay out. 4th team foul, officials pointing out here, so no free throws for St. Francis. This one may come down to who has the ball last. Baseline drive, good help from Decker, late whistle. And now, best the Cougars can do is tie it. which they do. Free throw good. We're knotted at 71. Buck 45 and counting. Foy, now 10 to work. Burris, the handoff. 4 to go against Fordyce. Filtered out for a 3 ball, and Smith was fouled. Parrott just got underneath her on that jumper, and you got to give the space to land. 3 free throws for Smith. Fourth foul on Parrott. Smith hits the first free throw, her 10th point of the night, 4 of 5 at the line. Burris leads all scorers with 18. 16 for Decker, 13 for Foy, now 11 for Smith. Third free throw. Count them all. Big free throws from Corinne Smith. Schaefer Center's getting louder. McKnight backs it out. Good backdoor look. Fordyce lays it in. Final minute of action. Both teams shooting 2 free throws on a non-player controlled foul. Burris to the rack. Nifty lay-in for 2. 20 points for Juliana Burris. Tech up by 3. Fordyce. Foul, and that's Covington's 5th. Gizzy's going to come back in for St. Francis, and Tech will take a moment here to find that sub. 39.4 seconds remaining. Amaris Lowry. A junior from Dublin, Ohio, Amaris, back into the game. She's played some valuable minutes for Tech today. Lowry, 24 minutes played. 3 boards, 3 points. As Fordyce missed the first. And that may put St. Francis in a spot where they think about fouling. 9.4 separating shot and game clock. Tech probably will take a timeout here. Fordyce 1 for 2. Some pressure coming. Burris back for Decker. Time to get it across the line, and Burris is fouled. 2 free throws for Burris. Valiente picks up the personal. Not a bad foul by any means. Burris 5 of 7 at the line today, 66% last season. Burris back to a 3-point ball game. We're in a foul scenario here for St. Francis, depending upon this free throw. Burris hit them both. 2 big free throws for Juliana Burris. Final 30 seconds. Got to go quickly here for St. Francis. Down to 20 seconds. Fordyce, baseline drive, missed it. Foul underneath is against Tech. 2 free throws, shot clock will officially go off. Valiente Fordyce return. First free throw, good for Fordyce. I should say Gizzy and Valiente return. Fordyce second free throw here. Hit them both. 2-point game. Gonna try and trap or foul, and before that can happen, Tech, with 2 timeouts remaining, takes 1. 13.6 left in this game. Gonna come down to free throws. If Tech can make their free throws, no question they'll win it. There's that timeout marker. Here's the 3 from Juliana Burris, which put Tech ahead with just over 2 minutes to play. To the Warriors. Got back in it off this good pick and roll move to Decker from Covington, who has since fouled out. Free throws for the last couple of buckets, and now 13.6, potentially separating us from a winner here at the Schaefer Center. Tech volleyball will take on Concordia at 7 p.m. tonight. And we'll get a quick turnaround of this gymnasium and get it ready for volleyball. Both teams with 1 timeout left. Inbound coming up the floor. Foy fouled. And 2 free throws for Erica Foy. Again, could potentially decide this one. Foy, a 75% free throw shooter last season. 3-time member of the first team in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Hits a big first free throw. 3-point lead, just under 12 seconds remaining. Foy. Her 15th point of the night is a big one. St. Francis advances the basketball with this timeout. Final timeout taken by the Cougars. 11.8 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Tech leading by 4. At the 8.5-minute mark of the third quarter, it was 48-31. St. Francis in front. Cougars finished the third quarter shooting 21%. And in the third and fourth quarter here for Indiana Tech, 64% in the third and 70% from the floor here in the fourth, including 12 of 14 at the free throw line, 35 free throws for Tech, 25 for St. Francis, 74% to 60% in favor of the Warriors in the free throw department. And Juliana Burris, 22 points. She had 21 to open the year at HU, 22 in the first home game, leading the scorers here tonight. St. Francis out of timeouts. Fordyce got to go quickly. Driving in, stopped in the lane, kick out, Gizzy throws it up off the side of the backboard. Culberson 3, too strong, and Indiana Tech holds off St. Francis for a big win to open the home season. It's a final. Tech victorious 80-76 over the Cougars. The win streak over St. Francis extends to 4 in a row for Indiana Tech. Juliana Burris with 22 points on 7 of 12 shooting from the floor. 7:09 at the free throw line for Burris. 5 assists led the team. She also had 4 rebounds. 16 points for Decker, 15 points for Foy. Smith with 12 points, including 3 huge free throws in the fourth quarter. St. Francis 3 with 16 points. Gizzy, McKnight, and Fordyce all score 16. Mantila with 11, so both sides with 4 scorers in double figures. But you look at the free throw shooting numbers, 74% on 35 free throws for Tech today, 60% on 25 free throws for St. Francis. And it's the Warriors who trailed by as many as 17 points in the early stages of the second half, who come away with a big-time win at home inside the Schaefer Center tonight. Tech improving to 2-1 on the year. St. Francis suffers their first loss of the season. The Cougars, now 3-1, will be in Joliet, Illinois this weekend to play St. Francis of Illinois and St. Xavier on Friday and Saturday. So quick turnaround for St. Francis. For Tech, they head to Siena Heights for the first conference matchup of the year. And that'll be a 5 p.m. tilt on Saturday at Siena Heights for Tech women's basketball. The Warriors win it 80-76, the final score. Indiana Tech victorious over St. Francis. For those of you who are Tech fans, we've got men's soccer coming up just 200 feet, maybe a little bit longer, further than that, away from us. For Tech men's soccer at home, Carson Watkins will have your coverage on the Indiana Tech Athletics YouTube page. You can find us on Facebook as well as SummitCitySports.com. We'll be back here inside the Schaefer Center at 7 p.m. tonight for Tech women's volleyball. The Warriors will take on Concordia out of Ann Arbor to open up the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference postseason volleyball tournament. And Tech won the regular season crown. They're looking for a postseason crown in women's volleyball, as Coach Biggs will enter the locker room here at home for the first time this season following a game, and it's with a victory in hand. Our player of the game today for Indiana Tech, Juliana Burris, 22 points, 5 assists to lead the team. She had 4 rebounds as well in 35 minutes played, as the Warriors come from behind and knock off St. Francis. Your final score, Indiana Tech 80, St. Francis 76. We'll talk to you for Tech women's volleyball coming up at 7 p.m. tonight, back here inside the Schaefer Center.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
You have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.